This is an SM Media production.
Hi folks, and welcome to our SM Media's Road to Cheltenham 2024 Dublin Racing Festival preview show. I'm Scott McPike. It's a pleasure as always, and I'm delighted to be joined by Calum McClurkin. Calum, these are one of the big festivals that I think we should do a big video for, so thanks very much for joining me again.
Indeed, yes, Dublin Racing Festival, as Nicky Henderson calls it, the Willie Mullins Festival.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the entries definitely
It
look that
is.
way. So, but if he's got so much ammunition, at least they're racing against each other, which makes it fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to get a lot of clues, and we're going to just run through all the races. We're going to preview every single race. We'll try and get best bets and take it from there. We'll start on Saturday, the 120, the Nathaniel Lacey and Partners Solicitors Novice Hurdle. Willie Mullins is responsible for 4 of the 6. He has Predators Gold at the top of the market at 13-8, Loft Glen 4-1, 9-2 Jatara, I Will Be Bay 11-2, Stellar Story 11-1, and Dancing City at 20-1. Callum, I've got a strong view here on Jatara. I think Predators Gold is probably the best horse of these, but I just don't think the 2 mile 6 is going to be his boat. I think Loft Glen is a dour stare, but I think Jatara, what she did at Christmas against the open mares, I think she was crying out for a step up like this. I think Jatara at 9-2 is probably one of my strongest bets of the week in this.
Yeah, it's where I'm siding as well, price wise. I think she's too big in comparison to Predators Gold, who are probably the two to focus on. The others are open to improvement as well. I mean, Laughlin's done nothing wrong the last 2 starts this year. He's just his form's just a rung below what's usually required for this. Just whether he can kind of step up and if it's going to be truly run enough. I Will Be Bay was very good at Fairyhouse the last day. You could figure, and Stellar Story's got a rating that suggests that he's a bit limited, but if they do overdo it, he's staying on because at Limerick it was maybe a bit even a bit too attritional for him at the trip where he get done. Dancing City's going outside. It's got plenty to find. The Jatara did it well at Leopardstown. Beat Pink in the Park by 7.5 lengths. Thumped Risk Bell. Tell Me Something Girls actually kept improving throughout the season. Who's maybe not a bad mare's hurdle shout each way for some. So I think Jatara 92 is the way to go at the price of Predators Gold. I think it's probably a 2.5 miler, but he did have a really hard race in that horrible ground at Leopardstown, that 2 miler, and was battling on to the line. It's whether he actually wants this far, but Goodland won this last year. It does yield itself the kind of specialist 2.5 miles to win it, depending on how quick they go. And I'd imagine, with Loughlin, Stellar Story, I don't think they'll go a crawl here, and I think that'll probably play into Jatara's hands a little bit, and Predators Gold might be a little bit vulnerable. And at the prices as well, I'd rather have Jatara 9-2 than Predators Gold 13-8.
Yeah, so 2 votes for Jatara. We'll move into the 150, the Spring Juvenile Hurdle, Grade 1. Willie Mullins is running pretty much all his juveniles here. Stormheart leads the market at 3-2. You've got Majbrand there, 11-2. There's been a lot of hype on him. Cargeist at 13-2. Calaconte, obviously, your pick for the Triumph. Bunting's there as well. You've got High Wind. You've got Interlotto for Joseph O'Brien. We're going to find out who the best of the Irish is here. And who do you think it is?
Probably, again, I think Stormheart's a bit too short for me. Look, the real deal on debut, obviously, but it's Luke's punches down heavy ground. It's a bit different, drying ground going the other way around. I think this might be a bit tougher. Miles we haven't seen before, so you're taking a chance and trust the. It was the same with Salvador when he didn't get in, and people were hitting him up for the Triumph. Never mind this, and he's not even turned up in this, and he won't turn up the Triumph either. So be done instantly. It's a bit like the start of the season with Sergino or if you back both, I think you'd be okay. But it's one of these things where you have no idea how they're going to be campaigned and things like that. And I think the market. I think it's threatening to kind of look at who's going to win a Triumph rather than this race itself a little bit. I don't quite understand how big Bunting is in this. I thought he looked good at Limerick. Okay, the jockey booking suggests he's nowhere near first choice in this, but I think he's got bundles of potential. The drying ground maybe slightly against him a little bit, and might be in weather watch for him. But I think him at 10s is a bit big. You can make a case for high wind as well. Calaconte's a solid one. I mean, if she gets any bigger, she's definitely worth an each way punt. Cargesi looks a kind of tricky ride to be. Well, Willie Mullins did say that she was. If she settles, she can improve. But there might be a shade of temperament there that might need more time to iron out. I don't think it's an absolute given that she's going to just improve bucket loads from that effort in behind Calaconte and Spring. And I don't think it's an automatic given that she's going to improve past her as well, because I just really like her kind of constitution. I'm wary that Gordon Elliott's form can dip around this time, and she might be victim of that. But the two I like the most, and Interlotto's not out of it either, but the two I like the most, and looking at all the exchanges and jockey bookings, I'm completely wrong, but it's Calaconte and Bunting, the two that I like the most in that race.
I think there's a lot of hype around Majborough as well. Ruby Walsh said that this horse is working the house down. I think that's very telling.
You don't know that though.
I know.
You just have to factor that in the market on the day and see, like, if it's a sea of blue, then yeah, fair enough, that's fine, and you can win. But let me. I mean, punters have absolutely no idea. They've no idea in this. If you're looking at form, Calaconte should be half the price it is now.
Yeah,
you have to look at 40. I know potential and stuff, but you can't price potential if you've not even seen the horse yet. At least we've kind of seen Bunting once and looked pretty reasonably good. Malmesbury, you just don't know, and it's all about a price thing. And if people want to take the chance at 11-2 on talk and hype, then fine, but it won't be for me.
I quite like how Interlotto shaped. I know he was quite well fancied by Joseph O'Brien. I think Joseph O'Brien usually, if he's got a horse that he's no fear to run them against the Mullins battalion here, I think that says a lot. So I'm going to price Interlotto each way in this. I don't think Stormheart should be as short as he is. As you say, Majborough's a lot of hype. I guess I can understand why people are going on, but again, she does look a tricky ride. I can see the Calaconte angle. I think Interlotto at a price just for an each way play is probably where I'm going to go. So yeah, that's probably where I'm at. I think this is quite a tough race to assess until you get, as you say, the market move. I think this is probably the toughest race of the week.
Yeah, I think you can take, because it is that tough, and if you're inclined to the bet, I think I would take the top three on here. And I think if you get Calaconte, Interlotto, Bunting, Highwind, they are four automatic viable each way options against them, in my opinion, that have done, that some of them have potential, and some of them have already have the best form in the books. So I think there's plenty of options and reason to take. Stormheart, you can let him. If he wins at 64, he wins at 64, but it wouldn't be for me on the basis of one run.
Right, 225, we've got the Irish Arkle. Marine Nationale, 4-9. We thought we were going to see Gaelic Warrior, but he's not going. For Seal Vega is 5-1. You've got Founder 50, LA to Tomp. Calum, I like to think for Seal Vega is better than what he showed at Christmas. I think he's always capable of throwing a bad run in, but I think Marine Nationale could just blow this out of the water.
Yeah, ground drying in his favour suggests that they might. This is do or die time for Facile Vega. The fact Gaelic Warrior's not going here, Paul Townend back in bold. This is leap of faith. This is the start. Let's see. This is the kind of day where he has to kind of show at least something that he's the horse that they think that he is on reputation. The benefit for him is that they won't mess about here, and the way to beat Marine Nationale is through stamina. And 2 mile 1 Leopardstown can be stiff, and I think they'll try and test it that way. I think LA Tom will go forward. I think Facile Vega will track. I think Founder 50 will be prominent. I think Marine Nationale will be in behind trying to do them for speed. If it becomes attritional enough, Facile Vega has a chance. So does Founder 50. If it doesn't, Marine Nationale could have too much class, too much speed. I think that's how it will probably unfold. And I think you'd just be watching Marine Nationale probably near the back, thinking, oh, have I got them covered or not? Are they going a bit too quick for my liking, or and see where it's going? But I think the drying ground will probably work in Marine Nationale's favour. I would have been weather watch, but 4-9 against 5-1, I'd probably take a chance in Facile Vega at the prices, but it would be a kind of small token interest bet because I don't want to back a horse at 4-9.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll move into the 3 o'clock, the 3 mile handicap. Although I think Barry Corn with Michael O'Sullivan could have a good hour, because I think 9 Graces at 12-1 could be a good play in this race.
Backed him the last day where he was third at a similar price each way. He shaped quite well. Just wonder, he's qualified for the Peartomp, so I do wonder if he's going to totally blow his mark here. And usually something that's kind of lesser and lower in the weights wins this. It really needs to go up to be kind of in better company. I like Music of Tara of the Bromhead and Blackmore combination. Won quite well at Leopardstown Christmas. This is a very similar race. Better ground will ask a bit of a question mark, but I do think he's kind of ahead of his mark. I think there's plenty more to come. So off 1-2-2, he's a chance. I'd be leaning there at 12, so I haven't committed to anything yet.
Yeah. Move into the 3:35, the Irish Gold Cup. 4 runners. One of them is Galloping de Champs, 2-5. Fast or Slow, 3-1. You've got Conflated and I Am Maximus. Calum, it's not brilliant, but I just, again, Fast or Slow has got the better of Galloping de Champs twice, but I just think Galloping de Champs will win this.
Yeah, 4 runners for Irish Gold Cup's a joke.
It is.
Let's be absolutely frank about that. It's a joke. I don't understand why Jerry Colombe isn't here. I think he's a horse that would benefit from experience. He definitely get the resolution to kind of improve. And I think he needs experience. I think going in Gold Cup fresh is actually against him. And there's Gentleman's Game maybe missed a bit of work, but again, he could probably have made it as well. And Willie Mullins has other horses that he could have thrown in here.
Right, can you answer me a question? Why is Conflated 12-1 and I Am Maximus is 40-1? That does not make sense.
I Am Maximus is patently too slow, though, isn't he? That's
Conflated's a cross-country horse now, apparently.
Well,
if Conflated wins this, I think we should shut up shop.
According to Michael O'Leary, he might be a Ryanair horse this season. He's a Ryanair or cross-country. Yeah, I mean, Conflated is £6 superior than I Am Maximus, but 2 years. 2 year difference. But I mean, I Am Maximus did win a Drinmore at the start. So I mean, yeah, 40 might be a bit big, but he's kind of got plenty to find. He'd probably be better seen the effect in a Gold Cup trip, things like that. 158. But yeah, Galloping de Champs will win this. He loves Leopardstown, doesn't he? Fast or Slow, at least. Thank God he's there to kind of make things interesting. But it's £12 inferior. He has won the last 2 times against him, but they've both been at Punchestown, which is a bit of a different test to this. Leopardstown, he can jump the other way around as well slightly. So I think Galloping de Champs on a roll. I think he'll continue that. I think he's going to win this, and he'll probably win it pretty well. Conflated will jump out, make the pace, and you'll see where he's at. I think if he runs with a bit of verve, they might throw their hat into the Ryanair ring. If he doesn't, it's probably cross country. But there was a positive update in Delta work. Apparently, he was lame the last day, and he is going to go Boyne Hurdle. And he will go cross country and Grand National. So that implies to be that he might come back. Are they going to run them both against Galvins and Manila Indos of the world? They might not. So cross country can certainly wait for another day on that front. Galloping de Champs will win this. I would rather back him at 2-5 than Marine National at 4-9.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move into the 4:10. You've got the Ryanair handicap chase. I quite like you've tipped the Bromhead and Blackmore for a handicap. I think the Folks Tiara in here at 6-1. I think this could be a good off 130. I think it's a fairly open handicap. Path de Rue is top of the market. I think the Folks Tiara for me would be the one to go with in this race.
Hen C at 11-1. Okay. Willie Mullins, Michael Sullivan, bottom weight. Get bogged down at Limerick last day. He was better at Clonmel before that. 1-2-3. Willie Mullins has plundered this before with a lot of them, particularly at low weights, and he's kind of already hinted that he likes horses in low weights. So this he's off 10-2. Michael Sullivan, very good jockey at this kind of level. He probably do for me at an each way price.
Right, final race is probably the worst race I've ever seen at the Dublin Racing Festival. We've got the Future Stars bumper, a grade 2. You've got 2 well, a champion bumper winner and a second in a Punchestown Grade 1 bumper 2 years ago at 65 and 4-1. A dream to share at Redemption Day at 4-1. A dream to share 65, and then Mullins has got like a yacht and O joystick. Jeroboam mashing for me at 16-1, I think could be a really good Emmett Mullins horse. I don't know if he's going to be champion bumper material, but I think at this, I don't want either of the top two to win because I think it's a disgrace they're even there. Probably joystick for me is probably the best of the Mullins crew here, but I'm leaving this race alone, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad race because these two are there, but yeah, you can debate whether they should be, they shouldn't be, but they are. A dream to share. He's been in work probably often enough. He should be fit enough. If he is, he's the most likely winner on back form. Redemption Day. If the ground keeps drying out for him, it's probably a plus. And he's had a run over Christmas, so you would know that he's forward. They are 7, and you would like to kind of see something different, kind of win this for good sport measure. I quite like You Ought to Know. I mean, I think he won quite well in Galway by 2 lengths, but I do respect Jeroboam Mashan quite a lot because beating a horse like DB Cooper, is tragically not with us anymore, by 4.5 lengths the way he did was quite impressive. Derek O'Connor's a good jockey booking. He's definitely the most interesting flyer at a big price here. But there are certain horses that are pretty unexposed. Haynes Tooth isn't. He's got plenty to find, but he wouldn't be out of the equation. Joystick's got his coatware kind of coming back and trip a little bit, but he could do if they overdo the fractions, and the Neighbours kind of like a second string to Gillon Dairies, isn't he? In the way he's operates. So, I mean, all the big kind of guns are there. You ought to know is quite prominent, the champion bumper back. I think if you're looking for a champion bumper type in the line, the horse to win it, that could qualify for it, it would probably have to be You Ought to Know if he's going to be a factor at Cheltenham next month. But yeah, it's a race that's it's a bit muddling with the presence of the top two that have been in bumpers since the dawn of time, really.
Right, let's move into Sunday. We'll start with the Paddy Mullins at Mayor's Handicap Hurdle. You've got Foxy Girl and Risbell kind of sharing favouritism. I quite like usually looking at the profile of Gordon Elliott horses in this race, but I don't think she could be anything's the one for me. This is probably the only race of the week where I would say that I can't really find anything off the top of my head. I think Foxy Girl looks well in, but she always seems to be soft in the finish for me. That's kind of where I'm at with this race, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, usually the Party Centrals of the world were well in this when they won favouritism, but they don't always oblige. Risbell was close in this before, badly hampered one year. She could be anything's carrying a lot of weight. The one I quite like was the actual look of Declan Quealy's at 12s. I don't know, she's 8, and you think, nah, that's a bit exposed, but she does have decent kind of course and distance form. Navan, she ran pretty well, I thought, in third, soft ground. She's a kind of reliable horse that will go fairly well in this. I can see her maybe placing. Fair play to Adrian Keatley for coming over because there's not enough Brits to go over. She's there. Hopefully takes an entry. Belle of Annandale at 33s, things like that. It's a type of race where something could kind of spring up from absolutely nowhere and win this. So we'll wait for final declarations and maybe something will catch the eye.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into the Ladbrokes Novices Chase, Grade 1. It looks to be Willie Mullins has the top 3. Gaelic Warriors even money. Fact to File 15-8. Grange Clear West 6-1. And you've got Alexa American Mike. I don't think Corbett's Cross is going to go. Mr. Policeman's in there. You've got likes of Sharjah. I'll take Fact to File at 15-8 against Gaelic Warrior. I just think there's less quirks with Fact to File. And I think in terms of the trip, I think Fact to File will probably handle it better than this type of race. I just think 15-8 is a better price than even money for a horse we know can potentially go out way to his right at times. Now, Leopardstown, it might get masked a bit better, but I just think Fact to File for me at that price is fairly workable.
Yeah, both of RPRs are 164. And Fact to File maybe a bit more proven at the trip. Gaelic Warrior could be just a class above, and hence why that's kind of price, and the right-handed thing might not matter too much here anymore. I don't know if he's straightened out or not. Again, it's just a absolute plethora of Willie Mullins entered horses here. I mean, we don't have final decks quite as yet, but I mean, Grangeclere West is drifting as if he won't run. That might be because of drying. The drying ground aspect might have actually tilted Gaelic Warrior here, and maybe taking Grangeclere West out a little bit. And I think maybe that's why Willie Mullins is gone this way. I don't have much opinion. I think the market's about right. Even Gaelic Warrior because of the talent. The fact to file 15-8 because he did it well at Leopardstown, but he beat Zana here. Manila Kakuna's a bit of a boat probably. Zana here, yeah, chasing not really his game. I don't think he's achieved as much over fences as Gaelic Warrior has already. Gaelic Warrior, he has won a kind of handicap around here where he did look a little bit less practical, but I think fences might kind of straighten him out a little bit. I'd imagine Paul Town and him in board as well. So yeah, I think it's a race where you'd wait to kind of see where the market strength is, because if there is a good word of fact to file, he will be clipped in accordingly. If the right-handed factor in Gaelic Warrior and he is a bit weaker, then all of a sudden, it's a bit more open season. It'd be interesting to see if Nick Rocket runs here as well, one at a price at 20s, because he's shaping up as if he's worth a go here. The fact that they're not kind of going the 3 mile route suggests that they think he is class enough to do self justice in a Brown advisory. If he turned up and Grangeclere West turned up, I think that maybe just take the top 2 out of the equation and back Nick Rocket without the front 2 in the market. Maybe that will open up and you might get a decent price, because I think he can turn over American Mike and things like that at decent odds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think fact to file for me could be a strong play. Let's move into the 140, the 2 mile novices hurdle. It's been won in the past by likes of Sir Gerhard, and it was won last year, I believe, by Ali Tomp. Ballyburn leads the market, even money. You've got Far and Glory, Slade Steel, Daddy Longlegs, King of Kingsfield. Ballyburn, I just think he will win this, and I don't think it's a penalty kick by any means. I think Far and Glory, Slade Steel. I think Daddy Longlegs, I know you've been of the opinion that his run at Christmas was forgivable. I would go along with that. I think Ballyburn is too short at evens, but I just think he'll probably win.
He is. I think everyone suspects that he is the leading novice. It's just, what is his trip? What can you do in a race like this? And we're going to find out at last here. Proper Grade 1 material. This is a proper race for him. Again, ground. If it was soft, I wouldn't have any qualms back him at all. If it's drying ground, good to soft, does he need it further? A bit like Slade Steel, will he need it further? Daddy Longlegs could come back here. He needs better ground. And if you're in ground watch, I think him each way worth forgiving earlier on this season. I think him at 12s isn't too bad. And I think from a betting perspective, I think that's the way to go, because Far and Glory is at soft. Slade Steel, his form is in soft, but I think he'll probably handle it. I think yielding would suit Daddy Longlegs the most. King of Kingsfield could probably run into a place here on yielding ground. So whether he's maybe kind of needing a trip as well, and then the rest are plenty to find. Something might improve, but they've got far too much to find probably in my boat. So that's what kind of makes it a little bit easier for Ballyburn. But yeah, again, he's got to be declared for a start and see who rides him. But I'm inclined to kind of roll the dice with Daddy Longlegs a little bit, and I obviously hope Slade Steel shapes quite well in behind. But well, all eyes on Ballyburn. There's others that can impress as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into the Dublin Chase. El Fabiolo 4-11, Dino Blue 4-1, Gentleman Demise 7-1, Captain Guinness 8-1, Sam Law 40-1. El Fabiolo, it's all about seeing what he's like. Dino Blue, though, I wouldn't rule out if she can. She's getting a bit of weight from El Fabiolo. She could give him a race, but I do think El Fabiolo again will be too strong.
Gentleman Demise won this last year, beating Blue Lord, who's similarly priced prohibitively now. El Fabiolo's miles better than Blue Lord, but we've seen shocks in the 2 mile division last week. There could be another one here, if he clouts one and gets out of a rhythm. So we wouldn't totally dismiss anything at this. Captain Guinness, he hates the place. I'd be amazed if he runs. It'd be hilarious as fast or slow ran here instead of the Irish Gold Cup. He's entered. And St. Waz going to continue to kind of tumble in the weights and shape up as if he wants 2.5 mile plate trip in behind. So Dino Blue again is interesting flying the ointment like she was at Christmas. She duly stepped up here. This is a bit tougher because Gentleman Demi will be a lot fitter and sharper for this. And El Fabio is a different league of opposition. El Fabio will win this comfortably, barring any kind of John Bond like disasters of last week. That's the kind of scale of how things have to go wrong here for him to lose. But yeah, I think El Fabio will win. I think Gentleman to me will make it a decent test, and I think Dana Blue, she'll have to win this to go champion chase, wouldn't she? Realistically, to give them a decision. And if she doesn't win it, she'll probably shape up as the second best horse in the race behind champion chase winner. Which, if you're in Mare's Chase tickets, seen her finish strongly in the line, a strongly run race, which it probably will be if Gentleman Demi gets his way up front. It's probably what you'd want to see, because I think that would probably dispel any last fear you'd have about her on the trip on Mare's Chase.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think El Fabio is going to win here. Irish champion hurdle, I think, could be another penalty kick for State Man. He's got the better of Perry Pass. 2-7. You're really just watching this, aren't you?
Again, probably, but you could multiply it up on the day. Perry Pass have another crack, which is fair enough. He travelled into it reasonably okay, and then get done for a bit of speed. He didn't jump well enough that day. He has to jump better here. The State Man, he's not an electric jumper, but he's a very efficient jumper that doesn't miss anything. And Perry Pass made a couple of fiddly mistakes. You just can't do that against him. If they go hard enough, it'd be interesting to see what rating Bob Allinger can actually run to these, because he's £8 off State Man. Suggested maybe 3-4 lengths. But if they do overdo it, he can stay on, and he still has this kind of ungainly head carriage. And I don't think drying ground is a plus for him over 2 miles at all. I can actually fear for him a little bit if it keeps drying out the way it does over this trip. And Echoes and Rain will do what Echoes and Rain does, and probably fight out third with Bob Allinger, and might get third because she might have that little bit more pace that he does over 2 miles on drying ground. So and Phil Dodori will probably try and hassle State Man unsuccessfully up top. So we've seen it all before. State Man, very reliable. I think another grade one's probably coming his way, and I think Perry Pass will be second in this. So yeah, I think you might get an even money forecast going there.
320, we've got the Leopardstown Handicap Chase. We have Meeting of the Waters at 5-1. I know the way you're thinking, James de Belly at 6s. I quite like Hartwood at 7-1 for Henry de Bromhead. I think this is a horse who's threatening to be quite threatening. Been second the past couple of times behind Blood Destiny, and the time before that, Grange Clare West. So decent form. I think off a mark of 136, I think he's fairly well in here. I think 136 is fairly workable, and I'd probably say with Jatara, probably my strongest fancy of the weekend.
Yeah, I haven't had a good look at this race yet, to be honest. But there are a lot of kind of notable names for the future that I'll be definitely keeping an eye on. A lot of old favourites in this. It's a really competitive race, and if you think that's the way to go, then I'll definitely not argue against it. I'm quite interested to see how Cool Survivor shapes over this trip. If he goes there, the golfer coming back trip a little bit, he does need a little bit of better ground. Percy Warner's a horse that I quite like. I think there's a handicap in Hall Games, but he's not performed at all this season. But better ground again would be a plus for him. He'd be interested at 16s. So many multiple entries we've got. You have to wait for jockey bookings and see here to really commit to anything, I think. But hopefully yours runs well.
Yeah, absolutely. 350. I don't have a strong opinion in this handicap hurdle. You've got King of Kingsfielder, Magical Zoe, and Tabar. I do quite like. I think Bialystok could be a horse with a good handicap in him. I think 14-1 will maybe play him each way, but it's not a race that I'm looking at with a strong opinion, to be honest.
There's quite a few kind of little novices here. Anne Tubble's got 138 as a mark. King Kingsfield 140. Magical Zoe 137. There's kind of Zenta 138. They seem to be scrapping the chasing route with her, which is interesting. Brazil coming back. It's another race where I'm inclined to kind of wait. I haven't had a big look at the tail end handicaps at Leopardstown on Sunday yet.
Right, final race, the 425, the mares flat race. I think Aurora Vega in here at 6-4 is a brilliant price. I've got 3 strong fancies. This is one of them. I think she is better than these. I've not seen enough from any of the others to say that they're in her class. She's done it very well. She's been given that rest. This has been the target all along. I think 6-4. I'm not just saying this because of her name. I think she is very, very good.
On rating, she hasn't done much more than the rest of these. Her reputation, ability, she's obviously got more potential. So 64's fine. The highest rated is the third favourite in Monjibello of the Crawfords. Did it quite well down Royal. Christmas beat Sport and Glory. Peter Fryhorse by 13 lengths did it very easily. It's just whether she needs it soft. Fed Magnifique isn't bad. Solid Bloodstock bought into her, but yeah, Aurora Vega, there's an aura about her. Gowran Parks, she's won by 3 lengths, barely punched out. Only tells half the story. Recent September, kept fresh for this. You imagine she'd win this Baby Go entry or something like that, potentially, but it's Mare's bumpers, not for me.
Right, final part of the show, Calum. Give us your best bets for the Dublin Racing Festival.
Probably Jatara in the first.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jatara in the first race, and then Hartwood in the 320 on Sunday, and Aurora Vega in the 425. They're my 3 best bets. Calum, this has been fun. It's been a pleasure to do the Dublin Racing Festival. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, manic as always, and it'll just be a brilliant weekend's race. Massively accompanying the Dublin Racing Festival, Sandown as well. It's a very good weekend to get involved, and there'll be clues aplenty down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you very much indeed, folks, and stay tuned for us next week. We'll do a Dublin Racing Festival review. Thank you.